They were just two sisters, born in a small, forgotten neighborhood, where dreams were a luxury, and knowledge was seen as rebellion. But they dared to dream. They dared to ask, "Why not us?" And that question changed their lives forever. In a modest two-room house on the edge of the city lived Amina, 22, and Lena, 19, sisters bound by love, poverty, and quiet fire. Their father, a strict man shaped by hardship, believed women belonged in silence. "Books won't feed you," he would say, slamming the door as he left for work. But for Amina, every book was a door out of limits, out of fear, out of smallness. Each night, while everyone slept, she and Lena studied under the dim light of an old bulb, borrowed books, tattered pages, and big, impossible dreams. Then one night, they were caught. Their father's footsteps thundered through the room. He saw the open books, and in his rage he shouted, "You think knowledge makes you better than your family? Then leave! Go learn out there!" And just like that, two young women were thrown out into the night, carrying nothing but a backpack, one notebook, and each other. They walked through dark streets with no destination. Hungry, scared, but free. They found shelter in an abandoned shop. No beds, no electricity. Just dust, walls, and determination. Every morning, Amina would whisper, "We start from zero, sister." And Lena would reply, "Zero is still a start." Days passed. They sold small crafts, old clothes, anything they could find. At night, they learned online courses on borrowed Wi-Fi from a nearby cafe. They shared one earphone, one dream, and one mission: to never go back defeated. Then came the first idea. Amina noticed how local shopkeepers struggled to sell handmade goods online. "Why can't we build a small site, just for them?" she said. Lena laughed. "We can barely afford food." Amina smiled. "Then hunger will be our investor." They started from a second-hand laptop gifted by a kind stranger. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into codes, designs, and failures. Their website crashed 100 times. People mocked them. But every no became a spark. After 3 months, they launched their first online platform, Crafter, a marketplace where local women could sell handmade products globally. The first day, 0 orders. The second day, 0. The third, still nothing. But on the 7th day, one woman placed an order. One sale. $1. One beginning. They cried. They danced. Because that single sale meant proof. Their idea worked. Soon, dozens of women joined. Then hundreds. They weren't just running a business. They were building a movement. Success, however, came with storms. A supplier betrayed them. Their funds ran out. The website crashed during the biggest sale of the year. Lena broke down. "Maybe Dad was right. Maybe this world isn't for us." Amina held her shoulders. "He threw us out for wanting knowledge, so we'll build a world where knowledge builds women." Those words reignited everything. They worked for weeks without sleep. They learned coding, marketing, negotiation, leadership, all by trial and tears. Then one morning, they woke to an email. Investment offer, $50,000. It was real. Their first investor believed in them when no one else did. And that was the day Crafter transformed from a dream into a company. 3 years later, Crafter Global became one of the fastest growing platforms in Africa and the Middle East. Women who were once silenced now had income, voice, and pride. Amina and Lena became global symbols of what resilience looks like. They built offices, hired women from poor backgrounds, opened learning hubs, and funded scholarships. When a reporter once asked, "What's your secret to success?" Amina replied, "Excuses are temporary. Hard work is permanent." Their empire wasn't built on money, it was built on pain, purpose, and persistence. Years later, they returned to their childhood home. Their father, older, weaker, stood at the same doorway he had once shut. For a moment, silence filled the air. Then Amina said gently, "You were right, books didn't feed us. But they taught us how to build the kitchen." Her father's eyes filled with tears. He stepped aside, whispering, "You both did what I could not. You changed the world." They hugged him. Forgiveness flowed like light through a cracked wall. And as they drove away in their car, passing the same streets they once walked barefoot, Lena looked at her sister and smiled. "We didn't find success, Amina, we created it." The world told them, "No." Life told them, "Impossible." Society told them, "You can't." But they answered back with hard work, sweat, and belief. They proved that being thrown out can be the first step to being lifted higher. So the next time life shuts a door on you, don't cry at it. Build your own house. Because excuses are temporary. But hard work is permanent.